Does Bob write notes on your script?
Yes, he does. He also does this. Bob, if he thinks I'm talking too long or ad-libbing out of turn, will reach over and slowly put his hand on my wrist and begin to squeeze until I stop talking. We've gotten used to this. One wrist is now slightly thinner than the other. I don't mind. And last year, having been invited back and flush with new confidence, I kept talking anyway. I've been reborn. He also is a practical joker. The very first year I did it, and I was nervous as a cat. You can imagine. This is live. You've got one chance to impress the audience, the boss, and Bob, who, if he doesn't like working with me, can say, let's get somebody else next year. I knew all that the first year. I was very nervous. He wound up a little toy, the description of which I can't really go into detail about, and sent it hopping across my script 10 seconds before we went on the air. We also have a porta potty up there with an open top. He climbed a little ladder with his camera one year when I had gone in there briefly to relieve myself. Well, this is Bob, and
I've he's the biggest challenge you have on the show.
Bob has occasionally been the biggest challenge I've had, but to know him is to love him. And people ask me, what is Bob Eubanks really like? Many people think we're married, you know. He has a wonderful wife and a 7-year-old son. He raised a family of 3 children long ago. As I said, Bob is even older than I am. You can imagine how much younger his wife is than he. Well, after he had this darling little boy named Noah, I said, how are you feeling this year? He said, I'm tired. Well, I said, it's your own darn fault. Here you are, raising a child at this age. He said, he's the wonder of my life. And he is. Bob is he's a new man with this darling little son. So people ask me, what is Bob Eubanks really like? And I have honestly been able to say, what you see is exactly who he is. Nothing more, nothing less. Bob Eubanks is Bob all the time.